Editor, put the chair that I just made on screen now.
Editor, don't
That's
do that.
right, I didn't make a chair.
That's because you're a sad dude.
It's because I was told make a chair 5 seconds ago.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Brunch of Idiots podcast. I'm your main idiot. Idiot? Sure. The hostess with the mostess, Riley. And I am here with RJ, Jay, and Aiden.
This is the voice of Aiden.
I thought you were going to go along with the bit.
It's Aiden. That makes the bit funnier.
And today we are wishing a happy brunch to Sandwich, Massachusetts of Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Like the sandwich
place?
police. Yeah. No,
Yes.
it's real.
It is a real place.
I hope y'all
I'm
have
sorry
a
I
brunch
doubted your
sandwich.
existence.
Indeed. Eat some
cod
delicious fish
brunch.
for me.
What? Cod brunch.
Oh, they're gonna have a sandwich.
Cod sandwich brunch.
You can
There.
have fish sandwiches. I like fish sandwiches.
I'd rather just eat the fish.
Anyway, today we are going to be talking about work stories because I figured, why the heck not? The world's falling apart outside right now, so might as well talk about work.
That is the most, what do I even call that?
Absurdist?
No.
No, it's not. I meant it to be absurdist, but it's not. It's not cool enough to be absurdist.
It's
Now,
absurdist
you
at
have
heart.
to put, like, that rock music that they did for those cringe high school comedies in, like, the 2000-somethings.
Speaking of cringe, I'll start us off with our first story.
Oh,
This one
boy.
happened to me recently.
Oh.
Now, I actually like my job, believe it or not. It's got some
don't.
ups and downs. The job itself is fine. It's the extra stuff that comes along with it that's not, if that makes sense. Right?
Uh-huh.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I need extra training for my job. I am doing something that I was not originally even remotely built for. So I've had a lot of learning curves in the bit of time that I've worked where I do. And my boss decided the way to expedite training was to put a bunch of my client interactions, recorded client interactions, into an LLM AI, and get some training videos out of that based off of certain criteria. I work in marketing, technically. So I am not a telemarketer. I just want to make that abundantly clear. But it sounds like I am one.
You telemarketer.
I'm not a telemarketer. People actually ask to be called, okay?
And they forget that they asked to be called, and then they're like, why are you calling?
They don't take it seriously when they ask to be called.
Mm.
They don't realize that they've actually asked to be called half the time.
I love that. I definitely caught all of that story, so that was really heartwarming and thoughtful. I appreciate it.
I'm not even remotely done yet.
I knew that because I could hear all of the story, so I definitely won't have to listen
That's
to
okay.
that.
I hadn't even gotten to the
We're gonna give
important part
you
of the story.
designated bad boy cat. It's sad looking.
Anyway,
Riley.
continuing on with my story. Because I need this extra training, my boss really legitimately does not have time to sit down and go through calls with me to make sure I'm doing my job appropriately. He programmed an AI to do it for me, or for him. And the AI spit out this fake podcast where it's talking to itself using 2 different voices, obviously. And halfway through this 40-minute long podcast on my client interactions, they sit down, or they stop, or the AI stops and goes, "Now this is where she gets cringeworthy."
Oh no.
Now this
And like
is epic.
picks apart this conversation. Now, were I a lesser woman, that would have pissed me off. Did it hurt me? Yeah, because I don't want a robot telling me I'm cringe.
God.
But it made a valid point. And I have since talked to my boss about that. But he didn't realize that the AI like sat there and roasted me for 40 minutes. And so yeah, that was painful. Living in an AI hellscape makes me depressed. But hey, it's a funny story.
I feel like you would at least like have to proof that before you show, because like they can say anything in there. If you just like, oh yeah, the AI is fine, it'll say nice things. Just let it go.
The problem with those at my workplace, and it is not just my boss, it is the vast majority of my workplace, is they believe that the AI is somehow infallible.
Honestly,
Like, they put it
Riley,
almost on a god level. It's kind of scary.
Honestly, Riley, your take on AI is so cringeworthy. Allow me to do a 40-minute presentation on why AI is the poop. How is my AI like in what's the word called?
Impersonation?
Impersonation. How was that?
I give it a C.
You actually did poorly.
Please speak
It's
after
pretty
the tone.
cringeworthy.
Right.
Oh no.
It was
Cringe.
so it was rough. Like, why would you keep telling me that you're cringing? Stop cringing. I'm having human interaction. You're a robot. You
The
don't know what
robot
that
is
means.
cringing.
Yeah, a more
Oh,
accurate impersonation would be you're so right. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Actually, in
That
fact,
was-
blah 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 blah.
The LLM that my work uses often uses. Now here's the sticking point. Or this really cuts through the fog quite
Nobody
often.
says that anymore.
I know. It's bad. It's like
What are
it watched all of the like available sales-based TED Talks from the early 2000s
Yes.
and was like, yeah, that's it right there. So it's rough. It also basically told me I was doing my job wrong. But
Were you?
no. That's the problem. It wants me to close sales, but I'm not a salesperson. So, basically all of its critiquing, well, almost all of its critiquing was pointless because it's not my job to close sales. I am not a salesperson.
I have a similar
It
issue
was-
at my job.
Oh, really? Do tell.
I shouldn't.
I should.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
just end
Ooh,
up doing
you
a lot
could
of
tell.
people's jobs for them that I'm really not supposed to. But they are working on getting us paid for these things, so.
Oh, that'll be
Hey.
good.
Compensation.
What are the odds they back pay you?
Very, very, very. I would no.
So, I have one from a very long time ago, place I worked at. And for those of you that are curious, I was a martial arts instructor for a while. No other details other than that. I was in charge of teaching a basic, like, beginner's class for children. And I'm not talking about the one that Riley and I both did that was in charge of, like, the toddlers. I'm talking about children. And I loved that class. It was great. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I may have turned on the fans more often than the master of the studio liked. See, this guy, he, from what I could tell, did not like children. Also, did not like to use the air conditioning at all in this stuffy room. Or stuffy studio.
Moldy, stuffy room.
Yeah, it got mold. And the only reason why I know for sure is because Riley's allergic to said mold. So she's really sensitive to it. And she reacted. So, yeah. Isn't that fun? Anyhow, in this situation, me teaching these kids, I had fun. And then I think my last year that I was really teaching, and this was before I decided to stop teaching. So this master, he didn't know, like, we didn't talk about anything because I was also trying to do my main work, machining, at the same time, and it did not work out. But during this period, it was in everyone's knowledge and my own that I would be teaching this class. So this last year, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was anything from personal life, because the master of the studio, his dad was like the grandmaster of the entire federation that we had, which was a worldwide one for our martial arts. And something very obviously happened because he just started punishing children in the classes out of the blue. And it was one of those things where it's like, you sneezed, 25 push-ups.
What?
I'm not even joking. That is 100% what was going on.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
You didn't bend your knee deep enough in this stance. Entire class, push-up position. We're gonna hold planks for 5 minutes.
So he just became a tyrant.
And he did. He became a straight-up tyrant. And, you know, it was like, he was trying to force children to make stances that were deeper than some adults that had stances. And for those of you that don't know, it's like where your legs are kind of apart and your knees are bent in order to have more stability for your techniques. He was being cruel and unusual. Now, this was the part that was really crazy. So he started coming in and taking over my classes and just punishing them while I'm just watching helplessly by because I'm just an instructor. There's nothing that I can really do because there's no like, it's not like a movie where it's like, hey, I'm going to spar you for the studio. That doesn't happen.
Or at the very least, it shouldn't.
Yeah, and he would have clobbered me. That guy was a beast.
He was terrifying.
He also went to the gym on top of his martial arts, so he was jacked.
That is also very true.
And his knuckles did not look right, which meant that he used them a lot. Anyhow, next class rolls by. It's an adults class. This, 40-year-old man, white belt, maybe 30. He could have been in his 30s, late 30s, early 40s. His stance is so horrible I was cringing.
Cringeworthy.
It was. You know, like the Avatar, The Last Airbender, where the robber tries to rob Uncle Iroh, and he's just like, look at your stance.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
wrong. And the
teaches
guy's
him
like,
how
why
to
are
fight.
you helping me rob you?
Yeah. That guy, it was on par with that as far as a stance. And the same master who, like, took over my class and had them do planks for 5 to 10 minutes, just let it go. The entire time. He didn't even mention, his stance at all. And that was one of those moments where it was one of the few that I did have that I'm like, okay, I'm done with this place. I hate it here. Because he just
Understandable.
became more and more of a tyrant. There's no one that I have taught that's there anymore. I've checked. I also may have vanished on him one day and still haven't reached out to him. He's reached out to me like 3 or 4 times over 6 years or
Dang.
so. So, yeah.
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 Just vanishing
work
on
environment.
him.
I mean, he would also like turn up the heat in the studio in the middle of summer. We had
And
kids
it's
literally
Texas
pass out.
summer, remember that. So like 80, 90 degree weather. And then he'd turn the heater on.
Heck, even more than that some days, honestly.
Yeah.
That's...
It was pretty bad. I kind of hated him.
Y'all want to hear my funny story that I definitely didn't tell to Riley before we got here?
Sure.
So ready.
Okay. So at work, I deal with cars and inventory. We buy cars. So there was a car that had been submitted to us via our website at one point, and the customer thought that the best course of action with these pictures to submit a picture of their singular rubber duck that was on their dashboard. And I thought it was really funny and cute because it was just out of the ordinary. We get some crazy pictures through there sometimes, but this one was funny and it was cute. So whenever I was transferring all the documents from one system to the other system that we use for inventory, I also uploaded the picture of the duck and I labeled it duck. And I just did it as this silly little thing, completely forgot about it. Months later, I can't remember what department it was that reached out to me, but I got an email from someone that was like, hey, so what do we get for finding the duck? I was like, oh my God, I had forgotten all about the duck. I was like, well, I guess you just get the joy of having found a rubber duck in your workday. So
I love that.
That
That's
is
so
truly
cute.
beautiful.
it was very cute.
Best thing.
I'm excited for the next time I get to do something quirky like that. because there are a lot of hands that deal with all these vehicles, so it's kind of funny to be able to leave something for the back end people.
That's kind of fun though.
Yeah. But we've gotten some real interesting pictures. There was one guy who he had submitted, I guess, just all the recent pictures on his phone, and one of them was he was out at a club, and this was like an older gentleman, right, in like 60s. I guess he had gone out to some like booby bar or club of some kind, and had got some pictures with some girls, and there wasn't anything bad, but it was one of those things where we're like, so this isn't your car, so we still need the pictures of your car.
Oh, how can you?
Whoops, wrong photo. I didn't check.
I'm so terrified of potentially sending people the wrong photo for something. And the most consequential photo I have in my, photo roll is like pictures of my mom's work in progress art or stuff like that. Like, nothing, but I'm terrified of sending people the wrong thing. So I can't imagine, like, that dude must just not care.
Yeah, that's it's about the conclusion I came to as well. Or he's just, not adept with technology, but
Yeah.
That's fair.
I always preview my photos before I send them. I am that paranoid.
yeah,
I
that's fair.
was watching a reel the other day that had a more suggestive image in it than I realized, and I sent it to a friend, and they're like, "Hey, you do realize what's in this video, right?" I'm like, "What?" And I rewatched. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Whoops.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
Did not mean to send that to you, but
Be like, yes,
my bad."
I'm sending a message.
Now you know.
Sending a message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about sending
goes
a
with
message, Spider-Man.
The saxophone riff from Careless Whisper.
It's not always about the money, Spider-Man.
Yeah. It's not about the Spider-Man. Whisper. Tonight the music seems alive.
We can change.
Spider-Man's just like, the heck?
Spider-Man's going, "Hey, JJ, are you okay? Do we need to go to the hospital?"
Hospital.
Did a hospital?
Oh, you know what? There's a time that at a workplace I went to that I might have needed to. Maybe.
What?
We'll never know. So what happened? This place I worked at in the past, it was a machine shop. We were making these parts that were called cable jacks. It was something that just held a cable really tight so that it could cut it without causing like any dangerous issues from happening. And then so the main part of this thing, it was a big steel block. Everyone measure it with me. It was 3 inches thick by 7 inches long by 11 inches wide. It's a big chunk of steel.
Yes.
And at that point in time, I could still lift that amount of steel. Kind of had to. We didn't have a crane. And we had this thing called a pallet changer. It is weird stuff, but essentially it like flipped in and out parts and from the machine while the machine was going. Um, and I was trying to remove this piece of steel, but it was sucked to the table because of the coolant that was on it. And so I'm like, trying to lift it up. And then it pops out, like the seal breaks. And so it goes whoop, partially in the air. Now, my hands are also coated in coolant. Coolant is a slippery thing on
Yes, it
human
is.
hands. So when it goes whoop, my hands did not go with it as it went up. And then as fast as it went up, it went back down, and my finger was underneath it. And so it's the same noise. Whoop, bam.
Oh.
Right on my finger. And funny enough, I'm usually a screamer. I did not scream. It was just the right amount of shock for my body to bypass the pain signal. And it's like, how bad did I just injure myself? I look, my fingernail's already black.
Oh.
And I'm like, pretty bad. The skin's also broken around it. I'm bleeding pretty bad from my finger.
You were smooshed.
And so I walk into the main office area because I don't know where anything is at this point in time. I probably shouldn't have even tried to lift that block, I'll be honest.
No. No.
And I'm just like, because in the office there's sweet old ladies that are there. They're our call service. And I'm just like, hi. You know where some bandages are? And they all kind of peer over and they're like, oh my goodness, are you okay? And they just kind of circle around me and bandage my finger up. And I go home early. And that's when the pain set in, and it was a rough couple of weeks. Very paranoid for that finger.
Understandably so. Honestly, I'm shocked you didn't like break it.
I am too.
So, if there's one thing about us two, is that our bones don't break.
Neither do
I've
mine.
been trampled by a horse.
Oh.
Aiden smashed his hand.
A donkey bit my pinky.
A donkey tried to bite your finger off.
That is true.
We don't break very easily. So...
Gollum versus my finger. I win.
Breaks a tooth.
Yeah.
That donkey was not gonna let go.
No, it wasn't. But yeah, the only other crazy, like, I'm surprised. This one is more of a, I'm surprised I didn't get any more injured. Literal first day in the machine shop, and I'm on one of the biggest machines, and it was doing an operation called facing. You put a really wide cutter on the surface of your material, and you do a clean cut across it. That way it's nice and flat. Face it. And I'm sitting there with these windows that are beyond repair, as in, like, you can't see a dadgum thing through them. And I'm thinking, well, man, I really wanted to watch it cut. I know, I'll crack the door open.
Oh my goodness, are you stupid?
I was. So while it's cutting, and mind you, when it's cutting, it's throwing these hot, razor sharp metal chips around, particularly towards the door. I crack it open and peek inside. And my face, for like 2 seconds, gets pelted by hundreds of metal chips.
Ah,
I was wearing safety
beautiful.
glasses, so I was very lucky that nothing got in my eyes. But it was just one of those like, bleh! And I felt a little bit of a burning sensation, and I
I
just
bet you
felt
did.
really dumb afterwards.
You know, sometimes we make decisions in life that are not our brightest moments.
That was definitely not one of
That
them.
was literally my first day. If I had gotten injured, I would have been fired so hard. Oh.
If I would have caught, I don't even work in a machine shop. If I caught you sticking your head into a running machine,
No, I didn't stick my head in. I just cracked the door open and peeked inside it.
that is
Just enough for like my
such-
face to look through. I was on the outside. Chips still hit my face because inertia.
Because inertia.
That is
Inertia.
that is such a rookie first day on the job. Like, if I were a cranky Southern man, I'd be like, "You stupid son of a."
And mind you, I never did this at school, but that was also because I think we always had clean windows, so I could always watch.
Goodness.
You are a watcher, aren't you?
I...
Oh no.
So yeah, there's 2 incidents at work where I was just a pure idiot.
Would you like my one of my work stupids?
I would love one
Yeah.
of your work stupids.
So, I work at an airport, and they have the the little like tugs that they use to pull around the like luggage and stuff like that. So
Yes.
I was learning how to drive one of those around on the ramp with dollies behind it, because obviously at this point I know how to drive, had my license, as you kind of need one to work there. But I've never driven with anything behind a vehicle that I've driven before that at that point in time. So I had a string of 4 dollies, and they're probably like they're square with a dolly tongue in the front, so they're probably 10 feet by 10 feet approximately, maybe 10 feet by 8. And I had like 4 of these in a row, so extrapolate that out, that's like 45 feet, maybe more. And I'm not used to driving with stuff like that behind me at this point. And because they have connection points in between them, they also all bend. Like as you're going around stuff on like a trailer, which is a long thing that's only has one bend point. I mean, you know how trailers work. So one of the first days after I like finally cleared to tug on my own, no one in my passenger seat, whatever, I'm driving behind one of the supervisors, and I hear like a bang noise, and I just thought it was like me braking and the dollies all hitting into each other. No, I clipped every single dolly on the back of the supervisor's tug.
Nice.
Every
Nice.
single one.
It is very unfortunate.
Luckily, thankfully, he's a very chill person, and so he didn't care. And both of us look back on this now and laugh, but like at the time, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we've had a number of incidents at work with people and vehicles hitting things that they're not supposed to, i.e. planes.
I'm sorry, people hit planes?
Mr. Manager, a second dolly has hit the plane.
Oh my
my-
goodness.
So the story that I've heard from people that have worked there before me. There was this lady that drove with an aircraft tail stand under a wing of a plane and scratched up the whole bottom of the wing
Ooh.
of the plane with the tail stand. She still works there because union. She should not work
Mm.
there because we've had more issues with her since she
Mm.
came back. But however, one of the ones that I've been there to witness since I've been working there is the dollies. The tongue is actually what is also the brake. So if you have the tongue in the upward position, the brakes are on, so you can't move the dolly doesn't roll on its own. But a lot of these dollies have two click. You have like one click, and then you got to click it again for it to fully lock out. So somebody had dropped off a string of about 3 dollies behind one of the planes,
Uh-oh.
facing downhill,
Uh-oh.
and had not fully locked out the dolly tongue. And so they just after they left, the dolly started slowly rolling on their own. And so they roll down into the mounting bracket for the engine.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ah.
That's not good.
And so I have a picture of this. I don't know if we want here. Let me see if I can post this real quick. But there everybody was huddled around it, all the higher up people and everything were all there, and it was a whole shebang for a little while of people trying to figure out what happened and what was going on and all this stuff. Where was it? Here it is. It had rolled into the thing.
Well, yes, we like rolling.
So,
Ah.
Oh.
yeah. Luckily, I don't think it did any damage that was not repairable, and I don't think it delayed that plane going anywhere. But you can also see the dolly that's in front of it. So we have a number of different size dollies. Was curved away from the housing. So one went under the wing, and then the next one after it, which is taller and has a different shape, clips the corner on the back of it. So it built up momentum before it hit too. It was that was definitely a fun day. That was right at the end of the day too that this happened. It's 30 minutes before we got to leave.
I would have hated to be the manager who would have had to deal with that.
Not as bad as the plane that blew up last year. But
Oh yeah, that did happen, didn't it? Mmm.
Ah.
Yeah, none of the MD-11s fly anymore. They're all gone. They've all been taken out of circulation. None of them fly anymore. It's
Is
half
that a
of our
good
revenue.
thing or?
Yeah, we'll be fine, I'm sure. Smaller companies, not so much. Mostly rental companies that rent them out.
Mm.
So, anyway. I mean, I can keep talking.
I have
I
one
have
about a
some.
coworker. You want to do yours?
Well, I mean, it
Do
doesn't
yours.
matter.
Do it. The Reddit, yeah.
Okay. So when I was a young warthog, no, when I was practicing
boy.
cosmetology actively, the last salon that I worked with at had this guy that would come in like clockwork every 2.5 weeks, right?
Oh.
And for the longest time, he was one of my coworkers, clients, right? But nobody liked this guy. Period. He was loud. He would come in cussing up a storm, tell the most outlandish, unbelievable stories about who he was and what his work was, and talk about his ex-wife in like the most atrocious manner possible, and also try to get drunk while he was there, because I worked at a salon that gave people free shots of alcohol.
That sounds like a not... Okay.
It makes people tip better, and that's what matters. But you know, you only give them like one shot while they're there. You don't give them more
That's what
than
you
that.
think.
That was policy, right? Now that policy was not always followed, but it depended on who drove who there and several things. And it's a small town barbershop. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, anyway, back to this guy. First few times he comes in, he's talking with my coworker. I think this is literally one of the worst people I've ever had the displeasure of meeting in my entire life. Horrible person. And then on the worst day of my life working there, not true. One of the worst days of my life working there, my coworker was booked full up and could not take this guy because he never booked in advance. He was always a walk-in, which is already just ugh. No offense to people who just like to walk in. I understand why, but like, it throws off the groove. Anyway.
Yeah.
Threw off the Emperor's groove.
Emperor's new
And that's
grooves.
exactly what I wanted to do to this guy, because I was new girl, and since older girl didn't have the time to fade this guy up, I had to. So he sits down in my chair, and he starts cussing up a storm. He starts telling me this spiel, like his ex-wife is physically abusive to his son, telling me in graphic detail about the kind of abuse she puts her son through.
Oh,
Yeah.
as one does.
As one does, at the
Break
barber
the ice
shop.
a little, you know.
Tells me that he has brain damage from chemical runoff from a local factory that poisoned the water supply of his neighborhood. And he and his mom were the only ones who were able to help them, or help the neighborhood, fight the legal battle against that factory, which is why you don't see them there anymore. Which I guarantee you is a lie, straight up. I believe that the man had brain damage for sure. But oh my goodness, it was the worst. But that's not the worst part, right? Because he ended up liking me more than my coworker. And so he would actually book appointments with me. So, and he wouldn't tip. He wouldn't tip either. So, every 2.5 weeks, I had this horrible guy come in, waste 35 minutes of my time, because of course he had a difficult head of hair to cut. Yell, cuss, tell me stupid stories, breaking, confidentiality laws with whatever his supposed job was. And he would brag about that too. And finally, when I left that job, I was like, oh my goodness, yes, I am finally rid of this horrible man. Yay. Wrong. Because I work for my mom a little bit afterwards. And she lives in the same town that this barbershop was in. And she sent me to Walmart one day to get some supplies.
No.
Oh no.
I am not dressed up nicely at all. I am in sweatpants, a sports bra, like baggy t-shirt. People misgender me when I am in this outfit because I legitimately look more like a man than a woman. And I run into the guy and his son, and he looks me up and down. He's like, "You didn't tell me you were leaving. Where did you go off to so that you can cut my hair again?"
Oh no.
And I'm like, "I don't cut hair anymore. Leave me alone." And I am so rude to this guy as I like speed walk away. But I was like, "I don't want to talk to you." He was like, he found me.
He's on to us.
So yeah, that's me. If you're rude, I don't want to cut your hair. Period. The end.
Valid crash out. It's not really a crash out, is it?
I don't know. I feel like the Walmart bit at the end would be.
I mean,
think
that's
that's a
valid
understandable.
crash out.
That's like meeting a coworker outside of work.
Oh, goodness.
Every time this guy would come in, I would ask my boss, "Do I have to?" And he would be like, "Yeah, you do."
Yeah. You
And
know
I'd be
what?
like, "But I don't want to." And my
I-
boss would be like, "Well, tough titties."
Goodness. I
It's a wild
have
thing
like
to say.
2 or 3 coworkers that I don't mind seeing outside of work.
Oh, I'm
They're
the same
very
way.
cool people.
Hi, Connor. I don't mind seeing you outside of work.
Daryl, this is your
Hi,
shout
Connor.
out, buddy. Hi, and hi, Connor. This is your shout out, Connor.
I mentioned him by names more than a few times at this point. He's
Oh, you know what else we haven't shouted out recently? RJ, would you do the honors?
Dawson, I'm sorry.
Toes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Oh, it's gotta go with the words now. I'm sorry.
You know what? This reminds me of a work story.
Does it actually?
Okay.
That's a crazy transition.
So
Do tell.
my other job. So I work at a university, and before I did what I do now there, I worked in maintenance. And so we would, take fridges and appliances all over campus and upstairs and stuff. And one day, we're getting a fridge out of a shipping container. And we have like a pallet jack that we're trying to use to get it out of there. And there's like a 2-inch, like 1.5, 2-inch gap between like the floor in the shipping container and like the floor like on the ground outside the shipping container. So we're trying to roll this thing out. We get it onto the ground, and I'm pulling this. I think somebody else was actually pulling the pallet jack at this point. Well, they pulled this thing with a fridge on it over my toe. And at this point in time, I don't have steel toe boots. I don't have I have just regular like tennis shoes. And so this hurts. And I'm afraid that I've like broken my toenail off or my foot's bleeding or whatever. So I like sit down and take my boot off and my sock to go look at my toe to make sure I've not broken it or something. And one of my coworkers, one of the full-times that no longer works there, but in maintenance, he looks at my feet and he's like, "You have nice feet, Jay." And I'm like, taken aback because I'm like, this is not. There's so many things about this that I was not ready for in that moment.
Do not compliment my feet. That's weird.
We are at work and I'm trying to make sure I have not broken my foot. Please, please no.
Oh, it's kind of funny that
Yikes.
he wasn't like, "Put your grippers away."
That's you.
That's true.
and
I-
awesome.
What's funny is I don't care. Like, feet don't freak me out. I just think it's funny to yell at people for having them exposed.
I think I feel similarly to feet as I do pineapple on pizza. I think people blow it entirely out of proportion. Now, granted, you shouldn't just
Yeah.
go around rubbing your bare feet all over the place, but also like chill out. It's just a part of the body, just the same as your hands or your face
Yeah.
or your arms or your
Yeah.
legs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of feet, I have a coworker story.
Speaking of feet, I don't like where this. I'm so glad that we're almost done with this episode.
Well, this one's a little different. This was an interesting guy. I will say that. Interesting in some term of interesting. That's up to y'all to decide. He seemed okay to me until I learned more about him and interacted with him more. And I learned that first, he was definitely like, oh, and by the way, this is a place I worked at a really long time ago. It is not my recent job. None of my stories have been a recent job thing. I figured out that this guy, he was a little nasty. Didn't really like the idle chat between us. Then also he was superstitious, but like in some weird ways.
I remember
Also a
this
Jehovah's
man.
Witness.
So, interesting human being. That you
Also
stumbled
believed
across.
in karma.
I mean,
Jehovah's Karma.
that's less
Jehovah's
weird to me.
karma.
Anyway.
Well, no, it's just the combination.
The combination is what was weird. It's not the fact that he does, it's the fact that he's one
Yeah.
and the other.
Right.
Well, not even just one and the other, but like all three in general. Because the type of superstitious I'm talking about, and this is the thing with feet, right? So
What?
do not give this guy a broom. Don't ask him to sweep anything. Let other people do it. And I'll tell you why. Our brooms at this place I worked at, they were nasty. They were all covered in, like, stuff. I didn't know what. And I'm thinking, this is gross. Why don't we get new brooms? And I learned it was a new broom. Problem is, this guy, who also chews tobacco, by the way.
Oh no.
Yeah. So there's a superstition about sweeping. When the broom touches your foot in any capacity, you have to spit on the broom.
Oh.
And this guy, I would notice, would just spit in the broom essentially all day. I don't know if it was true superstitious, but the way that he treated it, it seemed like it was. And those brooms got so gross.
I bet they did.
Eventually our lead figured out what was going on and banned him from sweeping.
That might be what he was trying to do, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, no, then afterwards, like very shortly afterwards, he quit. And he ran up to me and he was like, "This place is racist, man." They hate me for my skin tone, man. He had darker skin. I'll say that.
Was
So
he kind of ethnically ambiguous, but obviously not white?
no, he was very African American.
Oh, okay.
I just don't know if that's an offensive term these days or not.
It's not.
Okay. Yeah, so he was African American, but he's just like, this place is so racist, man. He wouldn't give any examples, but he just declared it and then left. And it's like, this is really weird. And then things turned really weird at that place. He was a catalyst, apparently. It all went to crap. And I left it, and it was weird overall.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
They accused my boss at the time of stealing 40-foot or 50-foot long steel I-beams. And his truck, I kid you not, was like a little smaller than my car.
It was an original Ford Ranger.
I remember this story. That's such a tiny truck to try to steal
That's the
I-beams
thing.
in.
He didn't try to
He
steal
didn't.
I-beam.
I know, that's the
Yeah, it's the irony of it.
irony.
So yeah, if you ever work at a metal place, just know it doesn't matter how big your car is. They can and will accuse you of stealing I-beams if they think that that's reasonable.
That's such a bizarre thing to. Every time you tell this story, I'm lost as to where the logic is behind that. What were they trying to achieve?
I think they were just trying to get rid of him for when they botched a like $20 million order.
Oh yeah, and the solution: blame somebody for stealing I-beams in a truck that can't even like.
I think that I-beams actually were going missing, but I don't think it definitely wasn't him. There were some bigger trucks out there, and there were some very shady people at that place.
It's a very interesting workplace.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Do we have any more,
Well,
or should we roll the words?
I think that does it for this time around. Aiden, do you have any words for us on this
I
final
have
thing?
some. I do. This broadcast was brought to you by these words. Ah! Sandwich. Cringe-worthy. Message, Spider-Man. Stupid. Dolly. Toes. Irony. Thank you for
Beautiful.
listening.
Jeez.
Beautiful.
Okay, sorry. Okay, all right. Get out of here, y'all. Enjoy brunch,
Good
sandwich,
brunch
Cape Cod.
sandwich.
Enjoy your brunch sandwich.
Hope you keep the vibes fancy, and don't forget to drink your chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Ah!
Ah.